where complex AI gets clear. This is AI relativity. Hey everyone, welcome. Before we jump in, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It really helps us out. Okay, so change. It feels like, every single day, AI is it's not just changing what we do anymore, is it?
No, it's fundamentally shifting how we do things, the whole interaction model.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's gone from this tool you pull out when you need it
Like a specific utility.
to something way more proactive. Like
Yeah.
it's actually in our digital lives, kind of doing stuff alongside us.
Almost like an active participant. And then there's the bigger picture, too, the strategic angle.
You mean the national level, like countries viewing AI as critical infrastructure?
Exactly. It's rapidly becoming this huge strategic asset. Seriously important geopolitically.
And that speed, right, that acceleration, that's what this market intelligence report we're looking at today really zeroed in on, this convergence.
Precisely. It captures this intersection of different forces. And get this, it's all focused on just one specific day, June 15th, 2025, like a really detailed snapshot in time.
One day. Okay, so our mission here is to unpack what that report found, the really crucial developments from June 15th, and understand these three big themes the report identified.
Yeah, three core themes that are shaping everything. They're not separate streams, they're weaving together.
Okay, what are they? Lay them out for us.
So first, the report calls it the materialization of the agentic economy. Basically, AI agents starting to do things, not just fetch information. They're becoming proactive.
Agents taking action. Got it. What's number two?
Number two is the geopoliticization of AI infrastructure. Suddenly, compute power, the actual silicon chips, is a massive national security issue. It's a global race now.
Right, the hardware itself. And the third?
And third, the global competition for governance frameworks. This is absolutely vital, especially as AI pushes into really critical areas like healthcare, finance.
Okay, so agents, infrastructure becoming political, and the race to figure out the rules. Makes sense. Let's dive into that first one then, the interface shift, how we actually use this stuff.
Yeah, the report calls it the Great Interface Shift, and it's all about moving away from the old way of interacting with information online.
You mean like typing keywords into a search bar, getting blue links, that whole thing?
Exactly. Moving away from finding stuff to AI doing stuff, or just giving you the synthesized answer directly. Task completion over information retrieval, basically.
And the report pointed to something specific on June 15th as proof of this.
Oh, yeah. A big one. Google's AI overviews.
Ah, right. Those summarized answers at the top of search results.
According to an Exponent 21 report cited for that day, AI overviews were showing up in over 50% of Google search results.
50%. That seems high.
It is. And the kicker, it doubled since just August 2024. They hit that milestone 2 years ahead of Google's own earlier predictions.
Whoa, 2 years ahead. That pace is just wild. It's not just a feature then. It's like Google is fundamentally rebuilding its main doorway to the internet.
Absolutely. And remember Google's I/O conference back in May 2025. They showed off that AI mode. The report sees that as further proof.
Right, AI mode. That was the thing that really put the AI-generated answer front and center, wasn't it?
Exactly. It actively prioritizes the answers synthesized by the large language model, pushing those traditional blue links down. It's a super clear signal. Google's betting on a generative-first future for search.
Okay, but the implications of that, they must be huge for, well, everyone who relies on search traffic, the whole digital economy.
Enormous. The report mentioned that same Exponent 21 data found something fascinating. Traffic from these AI summaries had actually had higher conversion rates.
Yeah.
Users seem to trust the summarized answer more.
Higher conversion. So Google is. Isn't that disrupting their own massive advertising business, which relies on clicks on those blue links?
It's a total paradox, right? They're essentially cannibalizing their multi-billion-dollar cash cow. It takes either incredible foresight or maybe just a recognition that this shift is inevitable, you know?
Wow. Okay, so if the value is shifting to being in the AI summary, what does that mean for websites and brands?
It creates this new kind of first mover advantage, as the report puts it. If your brand or information gets cited directly in that AI summary, you gain this implied authority.
And the flip side, if you're still just playing the old SEO game, trying to rank links.
You're seeing rapid declines in visibility, according to the report. Focusing only on traditional SEO is quickly becoming a losing strategy.
And is Google monetizing this yet? Are there ads in these summaries?
The report says yes, absolutely. On June 15th, Google was already actively testing ads within the AI overviews. They're building the new ad economy right on top of this generative interface.
Okay, so the interface is shifting towards AI doing more. That leads perfectly into the next theme, doesn't it? The money must be following that shift.
Exactly. The Agentic AI Gold Rush. If the interface wants AI agents to do things, then the investment capital is pouring into the companies building those agents.
Makes sense. Where's the evidence in the report for June 15th?
Some really significant venture capital events flagged for that day. They really signal the shift from just building the underlying models to building the applications, the agents that use them.
Like what? Any specific examples?
Well, why Combinator, for instance? The report highlighted that their entire spring 2025 batch, the 70 startups, each getting $500,000, was focused purely on agentic AI.
The whole batch. Wow. YC is often seen as a bellwether for early-stage tech trends, right?
A very strong leading indicator, yeah. It shows where the sharpest early VCs see the big value creation happening next. It's moving up the stack.
And not just early stage, any bigger deals mentioned?
Definitely. The report flags Clay Labs, Inc., the company doing AI for personalized sales messaging and automation.
I think I've heard of them. What about them?
SiliconANGLE reported on June 15th they'd closed a Series C round led by Capital G, Google's growth equity fund. And the valuation? $3 billion.
$3 billion for sales automation AI. That sounds steep.
Well, consider this. The report notes that's a 6x increase from their valuation just 1 year prior, which was $500 million.
Okay, a 6x jump in 1 year. That's not just hype then, that's the market saying these agentic applications are delivering serious, tangible business value right now.
Precisely. Clay is like a poster child for a high-value enterprise app built on what the report calls the emerging agentic stack.
The agentic stack. So it's not just about the agents themselves, but the whole infrastructure supporting them.
Right. And the report connects these specific funding events to this broader concept of the agentic web, where AI moves beyond just fetching information or answering questions.
So the AI can actually hook into other apps and services and do things.
Yes, that's the key. The report mentioned Anthropic's Claude 4 model, which came out in May, integrating with platforms like Zapier. That allows it to automate tasks across like 8,000 different applications.
8,000 apps. Okay, so the AI isn't just a smart chatbot anymore. It's becoming an operator across your digital tools.
Exactly. It's starting to orchestrate workflows, which leads to the report's point that the traditional tech stack is being replaced by this agentic stack.
And the competition is changing too. It's not just about who has the biggest, most powerful language model.
No, the game is shifting. It's now about building and crucially controlling the most effective ecosystems, from the base model through the agent orchestration layer, all the way to the apps you interact with. It's about owning the action chain.
Controlling the ecosystem. Okay, so interface changing, money pouring into agents. What about how we interact with these agents? Does the report see screens sticking around forever?
That's the next interesting thread, entering the post-screen era. The idea is that maybe, just maybe, our main way of interacting won't always be staring at a rectangle.
Less typing and clicking. What points to that?
The report mentions a CNN piece from June 15th covering market forecasts for smart glasses. Significant growth predicted there.
Smart glasses. You mean like the ones Meta puts out, those Ray-Ban looking thing?
Exactly those. The forecast highlighted showed sales potentially jumping from around 8.8 million units in 2025 to nearly 14 million in 2026.
That's a pretty big jump, almost double. Still niche compared to smartphones, but...
But the growth rate is the signal, right? The report sees it supporting this trend towards interaction that relies less on visual point and click and more on, say, conversation, or maybe the AI understanding your environment through sensors.
More ambient interaction.
Yeah, exactly. And the report links this to other whispers and demos, like those rumors about OpenAI potentially developing a device without a screen, a purely conversational interface.
Right, I remember hearing about that. Kind of a radical idea.
And then there's Google's own stuff shown at I/O. Remember Project Astra? Their vision of an AI assistant that sees what you see through your camera.
Yeah, and Search Live, where you could point your phone at things and ask questions in real time.
Right. All these things, the report argues, point towards more contextual, multimodal ways of interacting with AI, using the world itself as the interface, not just a glowing screen.
Okay, this is fascinating, but let's shift gears hard. None of this AI magic happens without the chips, the hardware, and the report says that's where geopolitics is really heating up.
Absolutely. This brings us squarely into the geopolitics of silicon. The compute power, the GPUs, the data centers. They're no longer just tech components. They are fundamental strategic assets for nations.
And when you talk AI hardware, you have to talk NVIDIA. The report mentions the buzz on June 15th around their valuation, right? Hitting something insane like $3.5 trillion.
Exactly. There was debate about whether it could go 10x higher, which seemed optimistic, but the report noted a more consensus view was that a 3x or 4x return from that point was actually plausible.
Still huge returns. What's underpinning that value? It's not just hype.
No, it's their market dominance. NVIDIA holds something like 80% of the discrete GPU market, the chips essential for AI training. And critically, there's the CUDA software ecosystem.
Ah, CEDA, that's the software layer that developers build on, right? It makes it sticky.
Incredibly sticky. It's a massive competitive advantage, a powerful defensive moat. Even if someone builds comparable hardware, getting developers to switch off CUD is a huge hurdle. Plus, the report cites the intense demand for their latest Blackwell chips as fueling that valuation.
But this concentration of power in one company, largely US-based, that must be making other countries nervous.
Very nervous. And it's leading directly to this concept the report highlights, sovereign AI.
Sovereign AI, like countries wanting their own domestically controlled AI capabilities, not relying on US tech.
Precisely. They want technological independence in this critical area. And the report points to Europe making a really strong push here. Sat News reported on June 15th about NVIDIA striking partnerships.
Partnerships in Europe. With who?
With governments in the UK, France, Italy, Spain, and also with major European tech and telecom players. Companies like Dahlman, Mistral AI, Orange, Telefonica.
What's the goal for Europe? Just catching up.
It's more strategic than that. The report says it's about bolstering their digital sovereignty, driving economic growth by getting a piece of the AI revolution, and reducing their dependence on the US and China tech giants. They're talking concrete steps like building dedicated sovereign AI factories.
Sovereign AI factories. Wow, so the global AI map is fracturing along national lines.
It definitely seems to be heading that way. It's a major geopolitical realignment.
Okay, speaking of geopolitics, let's focus on the big one, US versus China. The report calls it an AI Cold War, right?
Yeah, and this is maybe the most critical geopolitical dynamic right now. The report cited a Semaphore article from June 15th referencing foreign affairs experts who were warning, pretty starkly, that the U.S. needs to seriously consider the possibility of losing the AI race to China.
Losing the race. That's a heavy statement. Where is China gaining ground specifically? Is it just throwing more money at it?
It's more nuanced than that, according to the report. It highlights a key finding from OpenTools.ai, also on June 15th. They found the gap is closing fast, thanks to breakthroughs from Chinese companies like DeepSeek and Huawei. But the crucial factor wasn't just power, it was efficiency.
Computational efficiency. You mean getting more AI performance out of the same amount of computing power?
Exactly. This is a really big deal. The report quotes the global policy head at Hugging Face, saying that these new Chinese models, like DeepSeek's R1, aren't just strong, they are remarkably computationally efficient.
So that challenges the whole Western model of just needing more data, more compute, bigger models.
It directly challenges it. The focus shifts. It suggests the AI arms race might pivot from brute force scale towards optimization, toward who can do more with less.
And why is that so critical? What's the advantage of efficiency?
Think about the economics. For AI to be deployed widely, everywhere, in all sorts of businesses and applications, especially the inference part, actually running the AI day-to-day, it needs to be cost-effective.
Right. Training is expensive, but running it constantly could be even more so.
Exactly. So a model that's maybe 5% less capable but 50% cheaper to run, that could be vastly superior for countless real-world business cases. Efficiency makes broad deployment economically viable.
So it's about who can affordably integrate AI across their entire economy. That makes sense. How's the U.S. responding to this efficiency challenge, according to the report?
The report mentions Executive Order 14179. It frames the U.S. approach as focusing on removing barriers to innovation to maintain U.S. global AI dominance. Basically, a push for deregulation and faster development to stay ahead.
Okay, just a quick pause here. If you're finding this deep dive valuable, please take a second to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell. It helps others find the show. Thanks. Back to the report.
So we've got the interface changing, the agent gold rush, hints of post-green tech, the silicon becoming geopolitical, and now this efficiency race. How are big companies reacting strategically? Any major moves reported on June 15th? Well, yeah. The report highlights some massive strategic investments that really underline these trends. The Meta deal involving Scale AI is a huge one.
Scale AI, the data labeling company. What was the deal?
Fruit Baguette reported on June 15th that Meta acquired almost a 49% stake in Scale AI, the price tag, nearly $15 billion, which valued Scale AI at over $29 billion.
$15 billion for a stake in a data company. That's astronomical. What's the strategic thinking there for Meta?
The report positions it as a major defensive play, directly linked to that efficiency point we just discussed. Scale AI is arguably the leader in providing high-quality, finely annotated data
And Meta needs that data
to train smaller, more efficient AI models. If they want to compete in this new landscape where running costs matter hugely, they need the absolute best data to make their models perform well without needing insanely huge, expensive amounts of compute power. It's an efficiency play fueled by data quality.
Okay. Better data lets you build smarter, leaner models. And wasn't there a talent aspect too?
Yes, a big one. Scale AI's CEO, Alexander Wang, a major figure in the field, is joining Meta to lead a new superintelligence team. So it's securing the data pipeline and top-tier leadership talent focused on this next wave.
And this isn't just Meta. Is this part of a bigger trend?
The report definitely suggests so. It references a Q1 2025 analysis showing AI just dominating venture capital flows. Something like 150 new AI startups raised over $5 billion just in that quarter. The Metascale deal, while massive, is just one very visible example of capital pouring into the enablers of this new AI era, efficiency, data, agents.
Okay, with all this breakneck speed, investment, and deployment, there have to be risks, big risks. Did the report touch on governance, ethics, safety on June 15th?
Absolutely. This is a critical piece, and the report highlighted real concerns emerging, particularly in the healthcare sector. The need for robust governance, transparency, explainability, human oversight is becoming incredibly urgent as AI gets embedded in high-stakes areas.
Healthcare makes sense as a focal point. What specifically came up?
Radiology business reported on an American Medical Association,
Yeah.
AMA, resolution passed that day. Doctors are demanding much greater transparency and, crucially, explainability for AI tools used in clinical settings, especially things like analyzing medical images in radiology.
Explainability, meaning the AI needs to show its work, not just give an answer.
Pretty much. And the AMA made a really strong demand. They want neutral third parties like medical associations or federal regulators to be the ones who judge if an AI is explainable enough, not the vendors selling the AI system.
Wow, that's a direct challenge to the black box problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
And vendor claims about proprietary algorithms, they're saying patient safety overrides trade secrets.
Exactly. It sets up a major potential clash between medical ethics and commercial interests. And it wasn't the only warning sign in healthcare AI that day.
What else?
WebPro News reported on a study from Oxford University, and this was pretty sobering.
Okay, what did the Oxford study find?
It found that relying solely on AI chatbots for medical assessments without any human clinician oversight could actually lead to worse health outcomes than traditional methods.
Worse outcomes. How? I thought AI was supposed to be good at processing information.
It is, but the study pointed out that current AI chatbots lack the subtle judgment, the contextual understanding, emotional intelligence that human doctors and nurses bring.
So the AI might give technically correct information, but maybe in a misleading way or miss nuances.
Precisely. Without a human expert to interpret the AI's output, maybe correct it or put it in context for the patient, there's a real risk of patients misunderstanding advice, getting inaccurate assessments, or delaying necessary treatment. It can be dangerous.
That really drives home the need for keeping humans in the loop, especially where health is concerned.
Absolutely. The report stressed the study's main conclusion. We need hybrid models. Combine AI's analytical power with essential human oversight and clinical judgment. The goal should be to enhance human expertise, not replace it blindly, particularly in critical fields.
Okay, so beyond the market moves and the governance alarms, did the report give any sense of the cutting-edge research happening around this time? What were academics focused on in early June 2025?
Yeah, it gave a quick snapshot, with the usual caveat that academic publishing lags a bit behind the absolute latest developments. So this reflects themes dominant just before June 15th.
Got it. What were the hot research topics?
Several key areas stood out. Multi-agent systems and reasoning was a big one. Researchers were really digging into the theoretical foundations for how multiple AIs could coordinate and solve complex problems together.
So laying the groundwork for those commercial agents we talked about earlier.
Exactly, building the underlying science. Another major area was world models and physical reasoning.
World models, like AI understanding how the physical world works.
Precisely. Giving AI common sense about physics, objects, interactions. The report mentioned Meta's VJEBA2 model, trained on video to predict physical outcomes, as an example. This is crucial if you want AI controlling robots or interacting with the real world.
Makes sense. What else? Safety must be a focus.
Definitely. AI safety and trust was a huge research thrust, looking at things like how to defend AI systems against adversarial attacks, how to prevent backdoors being hidden in agent models, securing those RAG systems, the ones that pull in external documents.
RX security.
Yeah, if the AI is pulling in bad data, the answer will be bad.
Right. And also looking at things like trigger attacks and recommendation systems, basically making these powerful systems robust and reliable.
Essential work. Any other major research themes?
The last one highlighted was AI for science and professional domains. This is AI moving beyond general tasks and becoming a specialized tool for discovery in fields like chip design optimization, discovering new materials, advancing genomics research. AI is a powerful scientific partner.
Okay, so pulling all these threads together from this one day, June 15th, 2025, it's a picture of incredibly rapid interconnected change. The interface shift, the agent gold rush, the post-green hints, the silicon becoming geopolitical, the efficiency race, huge strategic bets by companies, and these urgent governance challenges. It really is. The report's value is showing how these aren't separate trends. They're all hitting at once and influencing each other. The speed is just phenomenal.
So based on this snapshot, what's the strategic takeaway? What did the report recommend for people trying to navigate this? Let's start with investment.
On investment strategy, the report was pretty clear. The biggest upside has moved on from just building the giant foundational models.
Right, the opportunity shifted up the stack.
Exactly. To two main areas. First, the agentic application layer. That means companies building AI agents that solve specific business problems, turning AI potential into actual value.
And the second area?
The efficiency optimization layer. Finding ways to make AI cheaper to run, improving algorithms, hardware acceleration, better data usage. Because, as we discussed, economic viability is becoming absolutely key for widespread adoption. Cheaper AI wins in many markets.
Okay, agent applications and efficiency. What about for businesses? How should companies adapt their strategy, especially given that great interface shift towards AI answers?
The report's advice here is urgent. Businesses need an AI-native content and data strategy, like yesterday. The goal isn't just getting humans to click links anymore.
It's about feeding the AI, becoming a trusted source for the models themselves.
Precisely. You need to structure your data so AI can understand it easily. You need clear sourcing and citations. You need high-quality, authoritative content that AI models will surface and trust. If you want visibility in this new generative search world, you have to optimize for the machines first. It's a fundamental rethink of online presence.
Rethink your whole digital strategy around AI. Got it. And on the risk side, the governance and ethics piece.
The primary risk identified is the widening gap between how fast AI is being deployed, especially in sensitive areas like healthcare and finance, and how slowly the rules, regulations, and ethical frameworks are catching up.
The tech is outpacing the oversight.
Massively. So the recommendation for companies is prepare for stricter demands on transparency and explainability. Don't wait to be forced. And prioritize those hybrid, human-in-the-loop models, especially anywhere safety or critical judgment is involved. Assume you'll need human oversight.
Proactive risk management, basically. What about talent? Did the report say the skills needed are changing?
Big time. The war for talent is shifting. Yes, you still need core AI researchers, but the really hot demand is surging for AI safety specialists, AI ethicists, and crucially, engineers who can actually build, deploy, manage, and orchestrate these complex agentic systems reliably and at scale.
So less focus just on invention, more on safe and effective implementation.
That's a good way to put it. Operationalizing AI safely is becoming the critical skill set.
Wow. Okay, looking back at everything crammed into that one day, June 15th, 2025, it really paints a vivid picture. The rise of agents changing our interactions, the hardware becoming a global power struggle, the desperate need for guardrails. It's all happening so fast and it's all connected.
The sheer velocity and interconnectedness are the main takeaways, I think. What happens in chip manufacturing directly impacts agent deployment, which raises governance questions, which influences investment. It's one big, rapidly churning system.
It really leaves you thinking. With AI agents getting smarter, more proactive, maybe even less visible in our daily lives, and with nations fighting over the compute power that fuels them, how do we actually ensure these incredibly powerful systems stay aligned with human interests? Are we sure we can keep control?
That's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? Or maybe, thinking about that efficiency race, if making AI cheaper to run becomes the main competitive axis, what does that mean for who benefits? Will it truly democratize AI, bring its power to everyone, or will efficiency gains just further consolidate power in new ways?
Deep questions. Definitely things for all of us to keep watching and thinking about as this accelerates. This has been incredibly insightful.
Glad we could unpack it. It's a complex picture.
Thanks again for joining us on this deep dive. And thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration. Where complex AI gets clear, this is AI Relativity.